That was months ago, but it was like number one.
Yeah, this would be number three. Hey, how you doing, everybody? Welcome to Weekend Share Beer. This is a special edition, like you just heard. This would be the official third Weekend Share Beer show-ish, but I don't know. I don't know if I should even number these. That's what I was kind of wondering. I don't know if I should number these. I think Weekend Share Beers maybe shouldn't have a number. What do you think, guys?
I'm up for whatever. It doesn't matter to me.
Lot of options. You could just include them in the regular share beer numbers, or you could do special weekend numbers, or
Yeah, I want to keep them a little a little separate. You know what I'm saying? Unless I were to actually officially make the show a weekend show, because that's always a possibility down the road. You never know. But um, yeah, unless it were to actually be a weekend show, I kind of think it'll be kind of neat to just have a separate little special. These are kind of different shows, especially nowadays because I get to drink, so you never know how long the damn thing's going to be, really. You kind of never know what the hell's going to happen because once I get, you never know.
You might want to document it then.
Yeah, you might want to, yeah. These could turn into, something special. Something for they could give show 323 a run for his money,
I doubt that. I doubt that.
But we have Bum with us right for the time being, and we have Earth with us. And I thank you guys for jumping in there. A lot of fun. I'll start it out here, man, because I don't get to do this too often. So I am having Rita Nation. Yeah! We are having a Bud Light Lime Strawberry Splash. And I saw this yesterday, and right away, dong! Like, oh! I was like, oh my god! Ah! Someone told me about, someone, of course, on Google Plus told me that they thought that there was a watermelon Rita out there. And I still forgot to Google it. I should Google it now. I still forgot to Google it, but I was heading to the store anyway, so I was like, yeah, I'll go check it out. There was two of them at the grocery store where I bought this 6-pack. This came in a 6-pack, by the way, and that was kind of another reason why, because they had a Bud Light Lime, which they all are, Limerita Picante. Now, I don't know if you've seen that, but that was still a 10-pack of cans. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't want to commit to all that right now. You know what I'm saying? And this was a 6-pack. So I was like, yeah, we'll get the Splash. Screw it. I haven't tried that yet anyway. So I don't know if you guys have seen the Picante, which I assume all that was maybe hot, because they had jalapenos on the front of a Limerita type of box.
That's the first time I've seen the one you got.
Yeah, this was, and apparently this is a relatively new. It ain't gonna look much different than the bottle. The bottle's clear, but looks a little more drinkable. Because it's in a glass. That's why. But well, this is technically a glass too, right? Yeah, it's just a glass bottle. But whatever you do, people, at least don't drink it in the bottle. But I understand if you're at the beach, or if you're pulling them out of the cooler, whatever. I did. As you guys saw, I posted the posting that I was having these last night, and I did send it to some lady friends that I know, and right away, immediately, a lot of response, a lot of discussion back and forth. Oh man, that looks delicious. Oh wow, what is it? And they know I review, of course, so they're asking me for a description about it, and my description is that it's lighter. It's to me better. It's not 8% like all the rest of the Limeritas. It's 4% ABV. And Earth gave a good description. Like he said it sounded online, at least, that it sounded like it was cut in half. and it is. It's not as sweet. I think the strawberry Rita was just way too overdone, And this one is the strawberry level is just fine. It's not as sweet, and it's a real nice, easy. It's a session, actually. That's what it is. It's the session version of
Session. Yeah.
the regular one is like a double. That's a good description, Earth. Yeah, see, Earth's the man. He's the real reviewer, actually. He just gives me everything to say. That's all.
I haven't reviewed anything.
Yeah. Don't let Earth fool you, man. He knows what he's doing. That guy, And this one I could see you sitting under there. Well, not you, but I see under. You could go erect pinky on this one. It could get like a little. It could on you, so you gotta be careful. Be careful with that, If
you never know, you're sitting under a couple umbrellas.
Yeah, see, if you actually have it in a glass that's similar to that, and there's an umbrella sticking out of your drink, and some sort of fruity whatever, more than likely you're gonna be with your lady, and she's gonna go, and you're gonna be tempted to put the kickstand out there. And then the next thing you know, you're going to be shaking a little bit while you drink. Oh, this is good. And then the other one goes out too. And next thing you know, you get these two kickstands out there. Oh, yeah, this is good, babe. And then you get stuck in the nose with your umbrella in your drink, and that's what you get.
And then you are a true Rita sexual.
Oh, yes, Rita sexual, yes, and we gave Budweiser that, you know what I'm saying? I never asked for anything back for it, you know what I'm saying? You're a Rita sexual, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with that, that's another. If Facebook needs to put that on their genders too, there's Rita sexuals out there, and we're here, and we need to be recognized.
And we need our own toilets.
And we need our own damn toilets, man. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. When next time I go to a Budweiser plant, I want to see a Rita sexual toilet in there. That's just the way it is. Yes, that's the way I identify.
Have you ever realized, Joe, that since you started the whole Lima Rita thing, how often the new flavors were coming out after that? I know it's been touched on a couple times, but
yeah,
how many flavors are out there now?
It was
12,
pretty.
15, 14.
It was pretty coincidental. It was. And I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you just never knew who was watching the show. It's always a trip because I've gotten emails from different breweries and so forth, and I'm always shocked. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the reasons for kind of polishing things up, cleaning things up a little bit here and there, because you never knew who was watching, and I would get these random emails. Hey, I watch your show and blah blah blah. Would you like some beer? And would I like some beer? Yeah. Oh, no, man, I'm good. Yeah. So, what are you guys drinking, man?
Go ahead, Earth.
Well, in memory of Mark being in Colorado.
In memory of.
I got a little bit jealous, so I had to bust out the chocolate Yeti.
Ooh.
Oh.
Chocolate oak-aged Yeti.
Yeah, so that's just a regular chocolate.
Yeah, this is the.
Because man, they got a bunch of different.
Rotation.
They got a bunch of those, don't they?
Yes. This one just dropped a few weeks ago, so I picked it up.
Yeah, very good, solid. Those are some of the best.
I'm a huge Yeti fan, so I like all of them. I like to keep them in my fridge all the time. I got Yetis in there usually all the time, so it's one of my favorite beers.
Yeah,
all the variants are good.
Man, those are solid. Have you had those as well, Bum?
Oh yeah, there's more of them different ones than I can keep track of. But every one that I've ever tried, I love. I love Great Divide, and I love the Yeti.
Yeah. Though that's a
Awesome beer.
solid beer. Yeah. What is that one you're having? Is that a 6%?
The one that I have,
Yeah.
it's 9.5.
9.5. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they're all 9.5 except for the barrel aged.
Okay. All right. All right. And Bone, what are you having right now, my friend?
Okay, I'm having from Rogue, a Rogue Chipotle Ale,
Ooh, I have not had that.
and it's called Chipotle Ale, but I'm pretty sure that this is kind of the same recipe as what they had out as far back as 20 years ago. It used to be called Mexicali Rogue, and it was one of the first hot beers that I remember, with a little bit of spice to it. And although drinking this one, though, and I will show you also that having it in the proper glassware, I'm drinking it out of a Rogue glass.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You must have the proper glassware.
Yep. Yep.
Proper glassware.
This actually tastes a little bit more smoky than it does Chipotle. It almost tastes like a Rauch beer. Or Rauch beer.
A raw.
Yeah. There's a little bit of hints of smoke to this, more so than the spice. But it's still good, and I might add that the only reason that I even bought this is because it was fresh on the shelves in all the different stores I went to, and I'm real shaky about buying Rogue stuff for all the stuff that they print on the back of the label very nicely. One thing they still don't print is any type of date on it.
Hey, yeah.
I'm not Greg. I'm not picky about what type of dating as far as bottled on or anything.
Right.
But I wish they would put something on there. And I've bought too many stale Rogues over the years where I reached the point where I said I'm not going to buy anymore unless I know for sure that it's brand new, right, fresh on the shelves. And this is one of them.
Well, this is, I'm supposed to be going into the Rogue site here. At least they have this, and then at least they have this Remember Me. So, maybe that'll help for next time.
Oh, a Rogue birthday cookie that you can.
Yes, it's a cookie that Rogue is giving you. It's a digital cookie. It's not necessarily a real cookie, but it is a real cookie. It's just a real digital cookie.
Right.
But yeah, they have all your, and then they have the recent bottle, because you go on BA here and Beer Advocate for those that are new, and
that's the old
bottle. Yeah, and I do remember seeing this bottle.
Yeah. And before that, like I said, it was a variation on that bottle, and it was called Mexicali Rogue. But that goes back to the late 90s.
Yeah.
But I suspect it's the same beer.
So this has this one is 22-ounce bottles and in draft, and I believe that's what you've got, right? It's a 22-ounce bottle.
Yeah, I have the bomber.
So 40 IBUs, 5.4% ABV. Tasting notes: deep amber in color with a rich malty aroma, deliciously spiced with smoked jalapeno pepper to give it that extra bite. So are you getting any of that while you're tasting it?
I'm getting a minor bite, but like I said, maybe it said smoked peppers.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where I'm getting the smokiness from. I'm getting more smokiness than bite.
Okay, that could be. That could be, because depending on, because they're using smoked specifically. So smoking would be different than roasting, which would be a definite different type of taste. At the same time, sometimes smoking could take away from some of that heat, and especially with jalapenos. Jalapenos definitely, in my opinion, get a little milder with, smoking, especially with roasting.
Right.
So you've got Two-row C40 malts, Rogue Farm Dare and Risk malts. A lot of different malts in there. Chipotle peppers, and free-range coastal water. I don't know if you're going to be able to taste the free range in the coastal of the water.
Can't say that I am.
And Pac-Man yeast. So, you know, I don't know if you're going to get that in your yeast, but
Joe, honest to God, I thought the thing was malfunctioning again, like on Tuesday.
Another malfunction. We've had a couple of little interrupts there. Have you heard those? I don't know what's going on.
I haven't heard it, but I honestly thought that it was starting to do what it did. Like I told you, it made it to the final broadcast last week towards the end where you went,
Right.
yeah.
That's funny.
That's what
too.
I thought was happening again.
The Bros give it a 96, but the BA score is an 81, which is good for almost 700 reviews. It's just 5 shy of 700. So it seems like a decent chili beer.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
I haven't had that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't really. I remember that old bottle though. So I'm trying to think because I have had several chili beers.
The next bottle with the pepper on it is what caught my eye.
Yeah, see, that would have caught my eye too. Yeah, and it was probably relatively priced well, huh? Because Rogue's not priced too crazy.
The regular Rogue Bombers in Pittsburgh are around $8 or $9.
Okay, what do you get? What do you get
That's
Rogue
high.
Bombers for in your area? Or
If it's like the regular year-round offerings, they're probably like 4.5 to 6 something a bomber.
Wow.
yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I typically get them for high 5s or 6.
$5-6.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Because we've talked about it before, and I think my prices that I get beer for is pretty close to what you're getting them for in California. So, Pennsylvania is just a little high with stuff.
Always seems higher.
Yeah, that's
What's the sales tax out there?
In the state, it's 6%. Plus, in the county I live in, it's an extra 1%. So I pay 7%.
Ooh, this is an interesting look. Let me show you this one. I like this one. This is because this one's a flip top version, and I dig that. So they
I haven't seen that. I mean, I've seen that bottle from Rogue, but not for that particular beer, though.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool one right there. And the other one, the Rogue Farms Chipotle Ale, and that one looks pretty cool too. There with the hops and the chilies coming off of there. Rogue does a lot of cool stuff, man. So it's a little hard to keep up with all their offerings,
And if they'd stamp a date on it somewhere, I would buy more of that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they definitely need to do a better job with that, or just start doing it. Yeah, I mean they don't even try, which is kind of funny because it seems like how do you keep up with when you have a problem? How do you keep up with that? You know what I'm saying? How do you?
Right.
How do you? It seems like, yeah, I don't know how you keep up with that.
Well, they probably have a batch number on there somewhere.
I've never seen anything stamped on their bottles as far as anything, any kind of code. Nothing. I don't think there's anything on the bottom.
I usually find that sometimes it'll be like a batch number on the very bottom, but on the surface, not at the bottom, but at the bottom of the bottle, right before the rim at the bottom.
Yeah.
It goes brown. Usually there's a number down there.
Now, now
I would think they
Budweiser,
would.
you know, puts a code. Budweiser always has a code. Um, yeah, see, there's a code on this other beer that I'm about to sample as well. And then there's, let me see what this brewery does. If they have a code on theirs. Yeah, there's a little code on here as well. How often do you guys, Bum? I think I just friended you on
Untapped.
Untapped. How often are you guys using Untapped?
You know what? I use it differently than most people. I don't use it as a live thing for several reasons. One, technical reasons, because every time I've tried to upload a photo with my phone, the app crashes and it won't let me put a photo on there. So I gave up. I have been uploading. If you've looked at my stuff, I just upload in batches. I'll drink a bunch of things, take a bunch of pictures of them, and upload a bunch of pictures at one time. I'm not concerned about the live aspect of it because I don't list where I'm at. Most of the time I'm at home, so I don't use it the way most people use it.
Mm-hmm. I love the way the new feature is, where when you're trying to pick a beer, you can. I'll try to show you my screen here. Let me see if I can do it. You can, yeah, see, it's always tough with these darn screens. But right up here, you can click the barcode. So you click that, and then you can you see that little red line there? It goes vertically. So instead
You just turned your camera on, Joe.
Huh?
Your camera's on. It's showing you now.
Yeah, because the camera's on the phone, but that line there, this is to scan your bottle. So if I were to put my bottle here, you can see that your barcodes here are always up and down like this, so it makes it easy to scan the barcode.
Okay, I got you.
You see what I'm saying? So if it were across, you'd have to be tilting it, and what if you are drinking out of the bottle? What if you're drinking out of the can? That makes things tough, So you're more inclined to see here's another one, and it's up and down, and whoops, it went off. But you can see the line, how it goes up and down, and it just makes it easier to scan. So that's one of the features I like. They did switch that a while back, and
I like that a lot. That works really good.
it does. It makes it you're more inclined to log your beer that way, You
don't have to sit there and fumble typing in something.
Right. It makes it, and they've gotten better too at searching for your beer. So you're right, Bum. It used to crash a lot, and
I've gotten rid of it and reinstalled it a few times, and it works for a while, and then it stops working again. I might try it time. That would be it.
Well, you're on a different platform too, aren't you? You're on
Yeah, I'm on the TrackPhone platform.
Yeah, so maybe that could be part of it. I don't know, but mine works pretty darn well now. Though it used to have a problem with finding your location, and it's gotten better with that too. So I really dig the Untapped app. It's just a matter of me remembering to open it up and log my beers that I'm drinking. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of fun when you do happen to be there at the bar, and you can log your beers that way. So you guys had a chance to check out some of the stories I posted the last couple of days on Google Plus.
I just gave a quick scan during the pre-show. I didn't really look real close.
Well, you've got that one story that I posted earlier. Budweiser banking on growing a contingent of beer lovers in Canada. Did you see that one at all?
No, I missed that one. I'm looking now.
I guess the story says, and it's from the Chronicle Journal, wherever they're at. Let me see. Newspaper of the Northwest is about all I can do right now. I'm assuming they're out of Ontario, Canada. Um, but it says that Canadians have increasingly guzzled low and non-alcoholic beverages in recent years, and Lapt, which has brewed Budweiser in Canada since 1990, they stated here is counting on that to continue. Anheuser-Busch InBev, the parent company, wants non and low alcohol beer to make up 20% of its global beer volume by 2025. So they're banking on the fact that they're going to have more people wanting and drinking low ABV beers as well as non-alcoholic beers. So how
Sure,
many?
they'll sell a lot more.
Yeah. So what? and they are, they have the budgets to go ahead and start heading that way right now. And if Canada is having a more of a surge of this, then that's probably what they'll do, Wow, all my links just went to hell. That's crazy. I'll have to reopen them. But that's
I'm scanning the story now.
How many non-alcoholic beers have you guys even had?
It's been years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was a thing way back in the day, I think, wasn't it? For the beach especially, the O'Douls and all that stuff.
Right.
Molson made one. I don't know if they still do. I think it was called Molson X. Maybe.
Yeah, Molson had one. Yep. There's let me see, Molson. There's a German brand that has a couple of non-alcoholic beers. Yeah, you have O'Douls. There's a couple of American versions. I know back when we used to have themes every week for the show, something to kind of help you, for the next show, we would, designate a style of beer, and then you could bring that style or whatever in the hell else you want. And then we started running out of styles, and it was it started getting kind of tough. But a couple times we did non-alcoholic beers, and I remember finding it was an amber. I don't know that it was O'Doul's though. There was another amber. There
was one decades ago called Foxy's.
Foxy's.
I still have a bottle of it downstairs, and I'm not even sure if they were an import or not. I don't know if that's the one you're thinking of.
No, not Foxy's. Trying to.
That's one. I couldn't bring up anything. I just don't pay attention to the non-alcoholic stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, it is kind of tough. Yeah.
There was a point where I was saying decades ago where I thought, well, yeah, I'll drink some of these in a situation where I don't want to drink alcohol, but I would like a beer. But you know what? Back then, at least, I don't know if it's the case now, if they've improved them, but the way those tasted back then, I just said to myself, you know what? There's no point in drinking these. There's no point at all. They just don't taste good at all. They taste loud. So what's the point?
Okay, here's some. You have the Coors non-alcoholic. I've had that. I have not had Busch NA. This is the one, the German one I was thinking about. This Klaus, this Hallner Golden Amber. I've had both of their offerings. I think they have an amber, and then I think they have a regular, a light one. I've had both of those. I've actually had a few of them. Yeah, you have Sharps. I've had that. I had the St. Pauli. The Becks, no. Polliner, I've had that one. Like I said, we gave it a go a few times here on the show. So there's there's Old Duel. Maybe it was Old Duel's Amber. Maybe it was. Maybe it was Old Duel's Amber, because I just remember there was an Amber that was actually not bad. It was actually, like, if you were the DD that day, it wasn't bad. You know.
Well, when they make non-alcohol that tastes like bourbon barrel aged stout, I will buy that non-alcohol beer. If it tastes exactly like it, I will buy and drink that.
I like the way they have Foster's Light Ice here under the no alcoholic beers. Yeah, because, dude, come on. By the time you get to light ice, by the time you get to, come on, there's nothing there. It's just flavored water. So yeah, and if you look here, it's 2.3 ABV. So yeah, that qualifies.
I'd like to see him make a non-alcoholic IPA with 100 IBUs.
Yeah,
wow.
See how that comes out.
That would be nice.
Wow. That's non-alcoholic. Let's Google that. Why not? Non-alcoholic IPA. Here's a recipe. Wow. So let's see. Let's see what we get. That'll be interesting. Goose Island. Let's see. Premium 3 beers you actually want to drink. Let's try that one. The Science of Non-Alcoholic Beer Gizmodo. That's an old article, though. Some of these are old. Yeah, you got my interest with that one. Let's see. What do we got here? Decaf. So low alcohol beers that have an ABV below 2.5%. So that would be that's defining the classification, and then non-alcoholic would be 0.5% and less. So that I knew that, but they're still not saying. Okay, so you have Nanny State from Brewdog of all companies. Are you kidding me? So you've got this is one of the few highly hopped. So you got 45 IBUs and 0.5% ABV. India Pale Ale is all about the flavor.
That's Brewdog says that?
Brewdog, out of all the people, Brewdog.
Might have to search that one out.
Yeah, just to check that out. Nanny State, they call it. It's one of the few highly hopped non-alcoholic beers around. And this is from 2015. Wow, July 6th. So it's only a year old. So this is a recent beer. Let's check that one out. Let's see. Nanny. Nanny State beer. Wow, look at that right away. Beer Advocate. Let's see what we got here. 43 reviews, 75. So there you go, man. That's from Brewdog of all people, man. Those people brew beer that's out of this world, like as far as ABV.
Outside the box.
And so this is definitely out of the box, like you said, a non-alcoholic IPA, and this is probably as hoppy as you're going to get for something that's non-alcoholic. I'd like to try that. Yeah, it looks like, and this is just a year old, and it looks like they only have these two beers here. This is a German Pils, and they don't right here in the article list the IBUs on this one, but it's a Pils, so it sounds like maybe two of the better non-alcoholic beers. And
if that has any kind of flavor to it, they need to put that in like 30 packs. Things down.
I would like to know what the price of this Brewdog Nanny State is. You know what I'm saying? Because a 30-pack would probably kill you. As far as cost, you know what I'm saying? The cost has got to be way up there, you know?
Yeah, that would be the only thing.
But that's interesting, man. And then you've got the science. This was from 2013, though. The science of non-alcoholic beer from Gizmodo. And Gizmodo always does a good job with their kind of investigative type stuff. So yeah, it's basically just an article on how to brew beer, and then
If they could get any kind of comparable to some sort of macro, pricing scale with something like 0.5 ABV or whatever, I'd be interested to try something like that.
Oh, I guess you got this one too out of Denmark. Drinking the Sun 13. It's a and this one's a 0.26% ABV beer. And it's a wheat beer though. It pours a hazy golden color with a robust, thick white head. Big aromatics of lemon and tropical fruit. Precede flavors of grapefruit, peach, and apricot. Huh. Out of Denmark.
Spiked my interest.
Yeah, it's always something to, I thought it would be interesting, something to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would try one again. It's like I said, it's probably been 20 years since I tried a non-alcohol one, and I'm sure they couldn't have gotten worse. They had to have gotten better.
Right. They've had to. Sharps, that's another one.
Yeah, I remember Sharps. Didn't Miller make that?
Yes, it is actually Miller. Yep.
I thought so. Yeah.
So here they've got other styles here. So you got O'Doul's, you've got the regular O'Doul's, and then the amber, the Caliper from Guinness, and I've had that actually. It's another one I've had. Sharps, St. Pauli, Buckler, this, what is that? Klausthal. I don't know. Some of these German ones. And then you've got Nanny State, Coors non-alcoholic, Beck's, Busch, another Klausthal, and a couple more German ones. Oy vey, man, I cannot say those. So yeah, that's interesting. So always good to know, especially heading into summertime, and a lot of we're not quite as up to speed as other countries as far as the transportation, but Uber's getting pretty darn big, so there is that, like, kind of no reason to take a risk. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, what did you think about this one? Did you happen to see India recorded that hottest day ever?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, its hottest day ever. It makes that clear.
Yeah.
That's India's hottest.
That's kind of surprising to me that was the hottest day, because it's reached 120 something here a few times.
Oh,
so
has
it
really?
I think it'd have been quite a bit higher than that over there.
Oh,
A
Foxy
couple years
Light.
ago in,
I ran down to my workbench. I knew I had it in the basement somewhere. This is a full bottle from the 1980s.
And that's still full.
It's still full.
Wow.
Foxy Light from Germany, non-alcohol.
Wow. That is cool.
I was like, I know there's a damn bottle somewhere down there, and I found it that quick.
Nice. That is
crack
cool.
that bad
bro.
boy opens.
Yeah. No way.
I'm going to set up a GoFundMe account. You guys can chip in.
Yeah.
Well, I will open up and drink it.
Yeah. Oof, man. No way.
Actually, it's in a brown bottle, and there's no floaties or nothing out of the ordinary in the bottle. It looks like it looks fresh.
Yeah, well, Mark loves to say, there's nothing in beer that's gonna kill you. So, if your intestines can take it, man, you go ahead, boy. You know,
What's the
It's
ABV on that?
imported by Best Brands, Fairfield, New Jersey.
yeah. Well, if it's a non-alcoholic, it's got to be 0.5 or less.
And this is, like I said, this is, oh yeah, it says it right here, contains less than 0.5% alcohol by volume.
Yeah. In order to be non-alcoholic, that's the standard. It's got to be 0.5 or less. Low alcohol is 2.5.
I'll check this in on Untapped later. You'll just have to take my word for it that I drank it.
Yeah. No, we're completely good, man. Yeah. I don't want to see you torture yourself.
I'm interested to think what the shelf life would have been on that when it was brand new
Oof.
for under 0.5.
Oh, I could, who knows?
Hey, so
Yeah, I don't, God knows.
I said, what were you saying in regards to temperature, Earth?
I was just kind of surprised that they don't have a higher all-time temperature reading, because it's a couple years ago in August we hit like 121 here, and we've hit in the 120s a few times over the years.
Oh,
I actually think they shut the airport down because it gets so hot in the 120s, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken.
120s has got to be God. That's just stupid. That's just like
Yeah, it's horrible.
it shows these people in the water here cooling off. It was, for those of you that don't know, anyway, it was India records its hottest day ever as temperature hits 51 Celsius. That's 123.8 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of us here in America, the previous record was 50.6 Celsius. Stood since 1956. And these guys are cooling off in this water. I got to tell you, man, that water's got to be hotter than hell anyway, you know? But I guess when it's 123 degrees, almost 124, I don't know that you really know the difference once it's 120, if you can tell the difference between 120 and 123.8. You know what I'm saying?
Just like when it's 5 below 0. Not that you've ever experienced that, Joe, but
I actually have a lot of times, yeah.
5 below versus 10 below, or
Yeah. It was not rare to hit 5 or even 10 below in Albuquerque. That's for sure. When you're working at night on the dock with the wind chill. Yeah. Yeah, you bet. It would hit 0 degrees in Albuquerque pretty regularly. Yeah, that's part of that being at that high altitude and so forth, that it'll sneak up on you. Because there was a lot of people that would be there and be like, I never in my life knew it was this cold in New Mexico. Right? Yeah.
I would have never known.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets pretty. Yeah. Yeah. If you could see the boxes of real Carhartts that I have, my extreme weather Carhartts that I have, which aren't cheap, by the way, and yeah, I was happy to put those in the closet, in the box. You know what I'm saying? To move to Phoenix. Yeah, it's yeah. You don't need those down here.
Nope.
Yeah.
If you're up north, you know what Carhartt is, but if you're from down south,
I was going to say, you could send those to me. I think we're roughly the same size. I'll take them.
Yeah, yeah. That's yeah. That was a happy day. But in any case, man, it gets close to 120 here, so that's something we can definitely relate to over here. Uh, and my suggestion is just to stay in the AC. You know what I'm saying? Just stay.
that's it right there.
Man. Yeah. What the hell are you? That's when you look outside and be like, oh, it looks good out there. I don't know what the problem is, huh? Yeah.
Or you see a bicycle riding down the road, you're like, what are you doing?
Oh,
Riding a bike down the road.
I tell you, man, what's crazy is you will see people walking and they've got jackets on, and you're just like, it's 110 outside. What in the hell do you have a jacket on for? But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I used to trip on that when I came down here. When I first came down here to the desert, because I'm from up north, obviously. And I'd see people wearing jackets. It's like 85 degrees, and I'd be tripping. What are they doing wearing a jacket? It's 85
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Hey,
I still catch it.
It is a trip, man. If like a for real like snow jacket or something, you know what I'm saying? One of them big bulky jackets, and you see people just. I'm like, man, that is like you've got something wrong with your system. Like you got to go to the doctor for real. If you know what I'm saying, because that's not there's something ain't right with you. You know what I'm saying?
The only thing I can think of is maybe they're training for a boxing match or something, and they're just trying to sweat it out. I don't know.
Yeah, the people I see don't look like any sort of athlete at all. They just farthest thing from an athlete. That's how you right now. Right now, I'm cracking open a Huss Brewing Company Pale Ale.
There you go.
Little aggressive pour there, but not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh, that's got a nice color to it.
Mm-hmm. Nice hoppy pale ale. Very nice. This one's 7.1%, and I would imagine the hop has got to be. It don't say, but I would imagine it's got to be just from the taste somewhere in the 60s maybe. It's got a nice hop bite, and I've had this one quite a while, I have to admit. There's some coating on here, but I don't understand it.
That was looking kind of ambery on my screen. Is that kind of true to color?
No, it's kind of
there
true.
we go.
It's kind of true to right here in the center.
Now I see the light through it. Okay.
It's kind of true. What I'm seeing is more like the center. But I mean that head is really cool. There we go. The head is really cool. Yeah, over here by the light is definitely a little more true.
Yeah, I can tell with the light behind it now.
But it's definitely a really good hoppy pale ale. It's not. It definitely leans more IPA-ish than pale, But it's
a lot of those pale ales, what used to be pale ales aren't pale ales anymore. They really straddle that line and are practically IPAs now.
Yeah, yeah, we've had that discussion a bunch. It's exactly what it is. It's they're more that line is almost like completely gone. It's just almost flat land. There's not even a fence there anymore. It's like
they cross over quite a bit sometimes.
Yeah, it really is. Because this one's definitely. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I know I've looked it up before, but I'm gonna look it up again. Huss Brewing, but it's old.
Do you get AleSmith out there, Joe? By any chance?
Don't know. I have to admit, I don't know.
From San Diego, Earth AleSmith from San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love their stuff.
Yeah, they're 394. They're 394 pale. The Tony Gwynn 394 is the reason behind that one from Tony Gwynn, but that's a really good hoppy pale ale from AleSmith.
We get some of AleSmith stuff, but I never saw the 394 here. I never heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you got here. I'll share my experience with you. Here we go. So here we are. At least it's a yes or no. I guess I still have no idea why you need to do this. But
and there's no remember me on that one. So you're gonna have to time you go there, you're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to do it. They're out of Tempe. So each time you go, like you said, you're gonna have to do it. 91 IBUs. Okay, I knew this was pretty hoppy. But here's all the places that are available: Fry's, Whole Foods, QT, which
And you
is
said
where
that was what? 7.1%?
7.1, 91 IBUs. Big bold IPA.
Yeah, that's a monster.
Well, they even call it an IPA here. So what the hell they? Oh, I get it. Okay, they do call it. They've got the India real small up there, so I just thought they were calling it a pale ale, but they do call it an IPA. I'm sorry, that's my bad. My bad, Hus Brewing. Sorry, they didn't try to yeah, because this is their pale ale, and it's so I need to pick up their pale ale is what I need to do. I didn't see that India was in small print. Yep, it sure is. It says IPA, so my bad. But it now that I know it's an IPA, it's a damn good representative of an IPA.
Makes sense now.
It makes a lot of sense now. Yes, now that we've cleared that air. Wow, and they've got an even bigger one down here. If you look at their seasonals, they've got an 8.3 ABV with 104 IBUs. This one definitely tastes big in the IBUs. This one's definitely hoppy. It tastes every bit of that 91.
Yeah, that one will get you.
So that 104 has got to be like lip puckering, man. I mean, you might as well bite into a lemon, you know? That one's got to be kind of interesting. I'm interested. I need to check out some of these. Whoops, what day is it?
I wouldn't be surprised, Joe, if you had that double and it was smoother than the one you're drinking right now. And not so intense.
You might be right. It could be a little more malty and stuff at the same time. You might be right.
Because the ABV's cranked up there. Those IBUs aren't quite enough really to get it as bitter as the one you're drinking.
Uh-huh.
That would be my findings.
Let me see. Got a comment here. He's asking, do I see the comments while you stream? I try to keep an eye on them. Everybody's seeing the stream that I'm seeing so I do try to keep an eye on it. So that's your answer. Let me stop sharing that. That way it doesn't mess up the screen there. But yeah, I definitely do try to keep an eye on it. I've been doing a better job in the past. In the past years of the show on Google Plus, I haven't been able to. For some reason, Mark used to keep up with or someone else who would be in the show had to keep up with the comments that were happening in YouTube because for some reason I couldn't see it. But that has changed, and so I do keep an eye on it. I have my phone right here, and that's usually I'll get an alert on my phone. And that's how I saw his comment right now. I got an alert on the phone, and
wasn't that like AJ or Brad that would handle the comments?
Yeah,
back in the old days.
Yeah, it was usually someone else would keep an eye on it and let me know what was happening right then, you know. So it's So I'm leaving him a comment real quick. Right, there we go.
I'm sure you saw Malt Liquor has responded.
Yeah, Jay Vega responded a few hours back. I did see that, and yeah, I'll give him a. Whoops, I took it away. I thought I gave him a thumb up there. Yeah, he did definitely respond, and yeah, I never mind. I know. You know, he's kind of out there, but I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? If people are into that, go check him out. We've had other people on here. We had that one guy, and he shows up every now and then. I forget what he's into. He's kind of anti-everything, anti-religion, and I think he's.
Isn't his name? Was it Godless?
Godless. Yeah. You know. So,
like, how did you figure out he's anti-religion, Joe?
Yeah. So That's his actual screen name. So yeah, it makes no difference to me, man. I mean, whatever you're into, man. I respect it, man. You know what I'm saying? Just to me, the great thing is this platform is made for all of us to come together and have a damn beer. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. I don't give a rip what you're into,
It could turn into an argument, though, because even though we all like beer, in particular this beer, the Sierra Nevada Beer Camp Stout of the Union Robust Stout, this beer is so good that only God could have created it.
Yeah, or I've ran into a Satanist recently, and they say, no, this beer came straight from hell. You know what I'm saying?
That could be a good or a bad thing.
Yeah, well, in their opinion, it is. Hell is their heaven, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, they're like, yeah, this is straight from hell. I'm like, oh, but I think that's translated into heaven on my end. So okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I got you.
My one buddy refers to beer as the nectar of the gods.
Yeah, that. But for someone that, like I say, I read into a Satanist, and they're like, everything's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I got you. Whatever. I don't give a rip. Pass a beer. You know what I'm saying? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, there are
spiced beer.
There are people, which is unbelievable to me, but there are people that actually are out there, and they like the San Francisco Giants. What?
I work with one.
What? Yeah, there are actual Patriots fans out there, and you're like, huh?
I work with one.
I've met him.
Yeah, you're like,
I've
whoa.
spoken with him.
There's nothing more yin and yang, man. You're like, what? So, I have to put up with these people. So yeah, there's these people, and they like wear these shirts, and they have these like blue stars on them and stuff, and I'm like, oh, you do exist. Wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
we won't say no names.
yeah, no, we're not saying the names, but I have to accept them. So once I've gone that far, the rest is simple. If I could accept a Giants fan, then hey, we can let the rest in. That's fine.
And Joe, we've left out a group of people who are very religious, who consider this stuff to be the devil's beverage. It's the devil's drink, alcohol.
And we've had those. We've had people that don't drink on here, and they would show up all the time. They just thought it was fun, and that's fine too. They would have a whatever beverage, soda or something like that, or pop, depending on where you live. But yeah, that's fine. All's welcome. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. I still have to pay taxes.
You can handle everything and everybody.
Yeah, I still have to pay taxes. I don't give a rip. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it doesn't stop my taxes. So, I would probably lean one way or the other if something stopped my taxes. You know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden, that big deduction on that one side of your paycheck, and that got smaller, and you're like, ooh, I see what you mean. Good point. You know what I'm saying? I still have to pay my taxes, so yeah, it makes no difference.
Yeah, that side of the check is the devil.
Yeah, that proves there is a devil.
Yeah. So, in any case, $4 billion. He's the one that made the comment. So yeah, no, I do actually see the comment, and that's kind of funny that his name is what was it, 4 billion or 24 billion. I stand corrected. I just watched. I watched the first 2 seasons of. I don't know if you guys watched this or not. It's a series on HBO called Silicon Valley. Have you seen that? I watched the first 2 seasons. They're like half
I
hour.
started watching that, but I quit watching it. I think a season ago, so I'm not caught up with what's going on.
They're on the 3rd season, and so I'll wait for that season to finish, and then I'll watch the 3rd season. But I caught up on the first 2 seasons. It's not the best show, but it's cool to watch. You know, it's a cool watch. You can catch up really quick because they're half-hour shows. I like the series that have half-hour shows. I'll watch them just because they're kind of fast. But anyway, there's this one cat, and he was a billionaire, and then he lost some money, and he was acting like he was flat broke because he wasn't a billionaire anymore. He only had 900 and some million dollars, and so he thought he was broke because he wasn't a billionaire anymore with a B. He said. Yeah, because he couldn't buy the cars anymore with the doors that went like that. He had to buy cars that doors went like that. Yeah. So that was his definition of he wasn't wealthy anymore because he couldn't buy the cars that went like that anymore with the doors went like that. They had to go like that. So he's like, he shows up. He was one of those, what do they call them in Silicon Valley? You have those venture capitalists or whatever they are, you know, those guys that fund people, you know, and they have all the money and they fund people. And so he shows up at the one guy's house that he's been funding, and he's like, do you see what's happening here? Look how broke I am. Look at this. My Maserati, the doors go like this. They don't go like this. What's the problem? You know what I mean? He's like that's how broke he is, because his new Maserati, mind you, the doors open like that, and he wasn't part of the what he called Tres Camas Club, you know. So he wasn't part of the 3 Comma Club, what he called the 3 Comma Club, you know.
Make you a billionaire.
Yeah, he was only 2 commas. So he was like, hey, you know what? You know, he had problems.
I can imagine that thing.
The guy was depressed because he wasn't wealthy, what he considered wealthy, because he didn't have 3 commas anymore. Yeah, so I found that kind of funny. It was, you know. I'm like, yeah, there probably is people out there like that, you know. They're like, no.
I was just thinking, I bet you there's such a thing out there where people get depressed because they're not in the billion territory anymore or something.
Right.
You know, they cross the line right there.
Right.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, that's what made it funny, is because you're like, the whole time you're thinking, that's a thing. Like, they're making fun of this because if you were up there in Silicon Valley where there is the land of millionaires up there, like, I'm sure there's those people. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they exist. You know what I'm saying? So, you know.
Can probably guarantee that, yeah.
That's what made it kind of funny to me, because I have no idea what that life is like. But it's speaking of that kind of life. You had Drake and Future perform at a Sweet 16 party recently. Floyd Mayweather's daughter, Sweet 16 party. When was the last time you had Drake perform at your birthday party, man?
2 years ago. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Last performer at any birthday party of mine was Topples the Clown, who blew up balloon animals.
This is just the beginning. The money that's going to be spent once she's in her, deep into her 20s and beyond is going to be ridiculous.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah. This is going to be a major I thought it'd be something fun to talk about on the show here real quick, just something to kind of break the. But yeah, here you've got Drake.
Celebrity children.
Yeah, yeah, that's part of that whole deal.
Yeah, superstar children.
And they had pictures of our Instagram. It's taken a while for them to load up on here, but I guess those. I don't know whose Instagram this was, but yeah, it was pictures and video clips from. You could see them performing in her Sweet 16 up there. So, hey, hats off to them. Like that's a picture of him with his daughter there. I guess when she was smaller. But hats off.
This may be a dumb question, Joe, but I'm going to ask it. Who the hell is Drake?
I don't really know his songs. I know that I do listen to him. I couldn't tell them to you right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't know like all of a lot of artists' music right offhand, but I know I listen to some of his hits. He has a lot of hits, and I know that he hangs out a lot of ball games. Because when I'm listening to my sports podcast, they mention Drake a lot.
Is he a San Francisco Giants fan?
Actually, I remember when I thought that was a pretty hell of a pimp move there when you had what's his name that proposed to Kim Kardashian in Giant Stadium. He rented the whole Giant Stadium, had an orchestra there. He flew in, I don't know how many guests, flew him in, all there. Everything was first class. That was that Kanye West. Yeah.
I'm ashamed that I even know his name.
That's too much money. You got too much money when you when you could afford to do all that, man. That was for a proposal. Damn, son. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Gets to
especially
a point
when you know
they
that the marriage
one
is
up
destined
each
to
other.
fail.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, they are just basically one-upping each other. It's like but yeah, he rented that whole San Francisco Giant Stadium to propose to Kim there. That was crazy.
And if you knew in advance that marriage would last 50 years and they'd live happily ever after, you could at least say, okay, how wonderful, how romantic. But we already know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
in advance what's going to
happen. They've already lasted way longer than I ever thought. So
yeah.
In celebrity years, I think celebrity years are like dog years actually.
Yeah.
So they've actually gone about 20 in celebrity years, haven't they?
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah, looking like that, I suppose so.
Yeah,
if they go the duration, it'd definitely be surprising. Any celebrity for that matter. That's kind of non-existent.
You never know, right? Like those things are kind of hit or miss with the celebrities. Like sometimes they even get up to 20 years and then all of a sudden they split up. You're like, what the hell happened there?
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of is weird. But another post I did have up there is that that one company that won that U.S. competition, and it's a wristband that measures your alcohol level, which I thought was pretty cool. So, and they call it the BAC track skin, if you will. But you can see the design of it. The design of it is pretty nice, real nice and sleek, and it would have to be in order to even begin to market it. But they won $200,000, which is kind of, I'm sure, which will get them started in trying to sell this. But I'm sure the real money for them is trying to sell this tech to another company that already has some kind of wrist technology going and integrate it into theirs. You know what I'm saying? So like selling it to Apple with the Apple Watch or Fitbit or one of the other big boys that could bring it into theirs and make it part of their their tech, their offering. Because that seems like something that would be pretty cool, like if I had that on my Apple Watch, I would use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they could license the technology, and everybody could distribute it somehow with their platforms.
Hmm.
The police will use it. They'll pull you over and say, "I'm suspicious. Slap on the bracelet here."
Yeah, yeah. You kind of wonder how. Yeah, is it like, okay, kind of like Untapped, right? You're like, okay, at some point, this is kind of working against you. Is it, if it's keeping a history, if it's keeping a history on you, then you're kind of like, oh, at this day, at this time, you were point such and such, and come
Yeah,
with
because the
me.
government's going to have a record of every entry that's been occurred on that thing. That
Hmm.
could be kind of sketchy.
Yeah, if they can pull that history, I mean, they've already shown, the government's already shown, different police agencies of the government, they can get in your phone and get all sorts of information, and so once they have it in their hands, and so do they pull up a history on that? Does that get used against you? What's the case? I haven't heard of that happening yet, but all it takes is a first time.
Yep.
But at the same time, it is kind of nice. It seems like it would be nice for your own use, while you're in the bar or something like that. You're somewhere away from home, and you're having a few, and you're like, oh, I think this next one is my last one, or I think that one I just drank is absolutely my last one. You know what I'm saying?
To put you over the top.
Yeah. So you're like, I better have another taco before I go, dude, because you know what I'm saying? Or,
You can check your watch on one hand and look at your level on the other hand and say, "Okay, I think I have time for one more."
yeah, you could kind of balance it out. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, well, I'm not going to use that analogy. That's a horrible analogy, Joe. What are you doing? Yeah, I was going to use
I'd
it.
like to have it and try it and see, how far deep you have to get to eclipse the plateau you need to reach or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, I was kind of thinking, you could, okay, so you're having some beers and you're watching your level go up. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't know how long you'd have to wait before it senses it again, but I could imagine it every 15 minutes or so. So you're like checking, okay, a couple more drinks, and then you check. Give me another order of wings, dude. Give me 10 more. Come on, bring them. You know what I'm saying? And you finish your wings, and then you're like, okay, it went done. Another beer. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself right there at 3/4 of a tank. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So they get that software in it to where you can actually see it rising little by little,
yeah,
live, real time.
with
You're like,
with
whoa,
with every swallow.
you're
So
right
you're like,
there.
okay, damn, that was damn, right? Give me
Just made it.
yeah, give me a piece of bread, something, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Can I take a nap on your bar? Is that cool? Yeah, you know. Hmm. So interesting technology, man. We know, and there's other devices that are out there right now, um, that are portable and that are pretty decent. But this one's just more of a wearable, and of course you can see why I always wear my Apple Watch. Um, but if there was something in the Apple Watch that would test that, I would use it. If it was an app or something.
I'm sure they could integrate it somehow.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they'd be able to do it.
yeah. It seems like something that would, that they would be able to integrate, kind of like, the technology's in there to track you, and so it's not hard. You've got different apps that are map apps, and they help you, guide you to where you're walking or where you're going. So it seems like, the tech that's already in there would, or maybe on the next version of the Apple Watch, they'll have different tech that would help them do sorts of things like that, because they are integrating more health type stuff into these different risk trackers. So,
what's a standard price point on something like that, like $249 or somewhere in that area?
on this
Give or take.
particular one, I don't know that they don't list a price. You can go to their website though. Let me see. I didn't try that. Yeah, I don't know that they're gonna have a price on here, but they do show it being used with an iPhone.
I'd like to try it.
It does say though that
It's affordable enough that I can do
with
it.
it says you can passively track alcohol consumption in real time. There's no need to take a breath alcohol test. Your estimated BAC, which is your blood alcohol level, result is just there on your wrist continuously. By syncing with an app on a smartphone or smartwatch, you can get powerful and actionable data. For instance, your phone could vibrate to notify you that you're approaching 0.0% blood alcohol level. That's cool, dude.
That's real cool, yeah.
And remind you to slow down your drinking. Or in the case of sobriety monitoring, a family member could receive a notification when your BAC has gone above 0.00. That's another cool thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Uncle Frank is drinking.
Yeah. And hey, this is the realities. You know what I'm saying? We all love our beers, but and it's the thing that I run into a lot. Sometimes some people know me when I go here and there. And the interesting thing is, when you tell someone you love beer, what does that mean to you? For some people, this is one thing that I've learned in my beer journey here is, what does I love beer mean to you? To me, that means I love everything about beer. Like, I love knowing how ingredients are grown, what different ingredients are in the beer, stuff like that. For other people, I love beer means I can drink 30-pack in one sitting. You know what I'm saying? Like, to them, that is loving beer.
Right.
We all drink for different reasons and say the same thing, though. But it's a different meaning for you than it is for me.
Right.
So with saying that, some people love beer and they have to have it. You know what I'm saying? It's an actual habit for them. And they have to drink. And we all have those people in our life. I know people that have had more than several DUIs. It's ridiculous. And yeah, to have an app that would notify you when they're drinking again, it would be like, dude, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that would be cool,
Now for the law enforcement to carry that technology over so it's all matching, so everybody's on the same page. That would be pretty cool, I would think.
That would.
If they could do that.
I think this would, with that little bit of information, it's actually a good tool for law enforcement, isn't it? It seems like it would be a cheaper alternative for them to have something that they could make you wear. They can already make you wear an ankle bracelet, so why not make you wear a regular bracelet that would tell them in real time if you're drinking? Yeah. So no matter what, it's not just when you're getting behind the wheel. It's if you're drinking, period. Because if you're getting so many DUIs, you've obviously got a problem. A person that maybe gets one or two might not have necessarily have a problem with drinking. But a person that's on their 5th to 7th, come on. You know what I'm saying? There's some issues there, man. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of really need to monitor if they're drinking at all, period. It's kind of like any other addict. Once they're going back to what they're addicted to, they really don't need to be there. So it seems like it would be a good tool for law enforcement, for the government to invest in this as well. And, make someone wear it. The minute they take it off, they're alerted. The minute they start drinking, they're alerted.
There's so many avenues for it.
Yeah.
I would, as a consumer, I'd be interested in just purchasing it, just because, just
Right.
to kind of see where I'm at at
Yeah.
Yeah,
any given time, or whatever.
me too. Just to see how what you drink affects you in different ways.
Right. It would be pretty cool. If you look at the app, I'll share my screen again. If you look at the device next to the app here, it's pretty cool, man. It is showing you a lot of information on here, and it does show a nice little graph of how you're doing. So if it's kind of like we were saying, and you're drinking, and it's in real time, is what they're saying. Heck, look at this. You can even have it, and if desired, to a cloud server for further distribution. So, I mean, wow. I mean,
There's a
okay,
lot of possibilities.
what if you're a parent and your kid says, "Hey, I want to go to Jimmy or Sally's party," and you're like, "Okay, slap this on, and you can go. I don't want you drinking. The second you take it off, I get alerted. The second you drink, I get alerted. Have a good time. Be back by 12." Right? Right? I mean,
Exactly right.
I've got kids. You know what I'm saying? It would have been a nice tool. We all get concerned about our underage drinking with our teenagers and
It
whatnot.
has a lot of benefits.
So that's
And
wow.
you
Just
think about what we did when we were kids and
oh
got
yeah.
away with stuff. So you know the loopholes.
And as adults, we say, "Thank God we didn't have those things when we were younger."
Thank God there was no cameras. I mean, and the recording devices that they had weren't quite as up to speed as they are now. So thank God for all that stuff. I ain't kidding. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a tough world. But yeah, what if you could, as a parent, there's a lot of people out there watching right now that have teenagers, and hey, there's a lot of graduation parties going on right now. Hey, you want to go to Susie's party? You want to go to so and so's party? Slap this on. Have a good time. Bye. I mean, yeah, a lot of potential uses here. A lot of potential uses. Very good. Very good.
They got
Yeah.
a lot. They have a lot of. They have a lot of options with that.
hmm Now that's not stopping you from the drugs, apparently, but hey, alcohol is one of those very quick, easy things to find I think alcohol is kind of the gateway for some people, especially teenagers, and yeah, if you're a parent, this is kind of a nice little tool. It's kind of a cool thing for guys like us that just kind of want to monitor our own consumption and our own what does alcohol do to us, some of us might have a few beers and no big deal, right? You're not even drunk, you're just having a couple of beers. And then maybe you go for a walk. So you're kind of curious, hey, how fast is this alcohol burning out of my system when I'm walking? That would be kind of interesting as well, just for your own information. Hey, I can go for a 1 mile walk and wear off this beer that quick in a 1 mile walk. I don't know, but it would be kind of interesting to know that about your body. And,
Right.
So maybe, but yeah, as a parent, boy, I could tell you right now, that would have been nice. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're the government, I mean, look at the way police departments now are looking at personal cameras. I mean, they've turned into now a must-have technology for law enforcement. I mean, you can see something like this down the road, man, turning into a huge thing for law enforcement, for parents, stuff like that. I mean, huge, you know.
Same way with the motorcycles when they got their GoPros on their helmets to document their ride or whatever. Same type of thing.
Well, I'm a truck driver, and there's a lot of trucks now that have, a lot of trucking companies are automatically putting cameras in the trucks. And so there's, a lot of your bigger companies already have cameras in the trucks. So if you try to do something around a truck, more than likely you're getting recorded. You know what I'm saying? Around some of the big boys, some of the big companies that you see all the time. A lot of those already have cameras, and it's one of those things that's moving fast in the trucking. You trust me, because I can't stand it. But because they're putting one in there facing the driver too, so you got cameras on the driver, and then you've got cameras on different sides of the outside of the truck, recording different stuff, because there's so many things that happen, and it's turned into a useful tool as far as accidents, and it's turned into a useful tool for them as far as discipline towards their employees. So there is that. As well as other tracking devices. They've had devices in vehicles my whole trucking career, actually, that can track where you're at. I've been driving trucks for 21 years, 22 years, and the technology's been out there almost that long where they can track where you're at. Be able to, if you're pulling a refrigerated unit, they could turn it on, turn it off, see how cold it is, see how warm it is, whatever the case may be, and kind of diagnose things. And they've been able to do that for 20 years, I swear to God. So, yeah. Interesting, pretty cool, man. I thought that was some cool tech, and that was definitely beer related. So I thought that was pretty cool.
There's a lot of potential good uses for that. A lot of the technology seems to be just for the novelty value of it, and that seems like there could be a lot of good uses for it.
Yeah, it really depends on what end you're on. If you're the parent, it's really good. If you're the teenager, you're like, this sucks. You know what I'm saying? If you're the criminal, and you're like, this blows, man. This is an invasion, and But if you're law enforcement, you're like, well, this is a nice tool, or
just the consumer, it's a nice tool.
Yeah. Right. You could kind of see where, well, like you've had a problem with airline pilots, for instance, with other DOT type of jobs, like your people that operate your trains and so forth, and truck drivers. And there might be an instance where they say, hey, once you clock in, you got to wear one of these, so they can see where you're at. The government already. I'm one of the people that's under DOT regulation, and they are. I think it's 35% of the workforce that's CDL qualified. They have to alcohol test every year, so you get randoms a lot. You never know when you're going to get a random. I mean, you get randoms a lot, and it's regulated by the DOT, by the government. And so I could see something like that coming in the future as this tech gets better as well, where they just say, hey, slap this on while you're on the clock,
Even if it's not that exact, company or platform, I believe it's going to be something substantial in the near future anyway,
Yeah.
I think that technology is going to take place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody else could take that same technology and just run with it and really succeed with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think somebody's going to do it regardless.
Yeah. It could, I don't. In the next 5 years are really going to be, wearables are a tech that is not going away. It is blowing up in front of our faces, and I wear a wearable. I never used to have a tan like that. I never wore any sort of wrist anything. Can't stand watches, but the minute I saw the Apple Watch come out, I was like, I gotta have that. That seems like something that I could really use. And I was exercising a lot at the time, and I've kind of fallen off that wagon. I need to get back on that wagon, but that was its usefulness to me, and plus the notifications. Once I had it, the notifications that you can really personalize to put on there are really, really, really useful, and it enables me to use my smartphone as more of a computer, because there's a lot of things that I can be doing on the phone. Streaming music is one of the big ones that I do on my phone, and not interrupt what I'm doing on the phone, because I can still be doing something else on my wrist. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, if I'm making a phone call on my phone, I could be in the middle of a phone call and still texting on my wrist. It's pretty cool. So you're using your phone as more of a computer that way, and it's pretty powerful. It's pretty cool. But yeah, enough of that. You guys on to another beer, I'm sure.
I have plenty of beer to go grab.
Yeah, one more, and then we'll end it here. We'll put it out of its misery and let everyone get to their ball games.
I'm finishing up the Robust Stout Sierra Beer Camp.
What do you think of that?
I love it. I love it. This is from that pack that I was drinking from on Tuesday, Joe.
Oh.
Yeah, where I had that
Yeah.
called the Session, what was it? The Session Imperial Pale Ale.
Right.
This is the Stout of the Union Robust Stout. And if you look at the comments section on YouTube for Share a Beer from Tuesday night, Ruben brought up a great point. He asked me how much I paid for the 12-pack, and as embarrassing as it sounds, I didn't realize how much I paid. I was kind of distracted when I bought the pack. I didn't realize how expensive this 12-pack was. This 12-pack cost me $29, and that was comparable to what Ruben has seen it for in Pennsylvania. Way overpriced. Way overpriced. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, $60 a case territory, that's bad. And as good as the beers are in this pack, they're not worth that much.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I always pay attention to prices. But it's funny, I went into this beer place just looking for something new from one of the breweries I like. And I saw that beer camp pack, and it was like, when I saw it, I just grabbed it and I said, oh my God, look at that. That's what I'm buying. And I swiped my card, threw a signature on, didn't even pay attention to what the cashier told me it cost. And I didn't even look at my receipt. It wasn't until Ruben asked on, I sent the message a few days ago asking how much I paid for it, that I realized how much I paid.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, because that's a lot of money. Wow. Yeah.
I figured it's about $20. The average Sierra 12-pack in Pennsylvania cost about $20, give or take $1. Sometimes 18, sometimes 19. At the most, 20. But $29 for this 12-pack was way too much.
Let me answer real quick some of the guys that are chatting on the YouTube. There is a kind of a live feed. There's a Q&A in the actual show. So if you're or you could be commenting on the comments for the show, the actual show notes here in Google Plus. So if you can get into the Google Plus, find me in the Google Plus, you'll find the show, and then you'll be commenting actually in the show itself, and then there is a Q&A, and that's where actual Bum comes from. He used to just strictly be in the Q&A, and I actually have the Q&A. I've had the Q&A open this whole show just in case someone got in there. There's a chat if you're in the show that you can use. I don't know that you can use it outside of the show.
I don't think you can.
Now, if I were to, and that is one of the things that I'm going to have to kind of look into, because that is something that's getting asked every once in a while, is for a live chat setup. You can do that on the YouTube side. So if I were to start this show on the YouTube side, you could do a live chat. I'm getting asked for that every once in a while, so it's not often enough for me to necessarily explore that right now. But if you were to be on the Google Plus side instead of the YouTube side, right now you could get in on the notes part of it, and so that would be the closest thing to like a chat you could have right now, just to kind of cover that a little bit. It's Google doesn't make it easy. I'll still admit they've had a lot of different versions of Google Plus already, and it's still not quite prime time, is what I would say.
Here's a question, Joe. It's been so long since I signed up for Google Plus, and I signed up for Google Plus just so I could get the benefits of this show. But now you're mentioning the show comments. Do you have to be signed up to Google Plus in order to go on there and receive links about the show or notifications or posts about the show?
So
I don't know if you have to be signed up or not.
yeah, I don't know. I necessarily don't know. And I know I don't use the new format of Google Plus. I still use an old format. So in my UI, I'm seeing an old format. It's just always been easier for me. The new Google Plus is too.
Just say it, Joe. It sucks.
To me it sucks. It's not. There's not. Yeah. It's. So if you go into Google Plus, you sign up for Google Plus. Just use the old version. To me, it's just better. You get all the old options. They really condense things in the new one, and I don't know. I've never been able to even start the show on the new one. I use the old format. It's just, to me, better.
Yeah, I told you last week I'm trying to get used to the new one. I'm trying, and I don't care for it.
Yeah, I don't really care for it. It's just not, but that is we've got some guys commenting. I can see them. Yeah, so no, I don't have a live. That would be the closest thing to it. I don't use Twitter enough because I think that some people use Twitter for a live chat. I guess I have to explore all these options, man. I don't know. Because I normally do the show on Tuesdays, and man, I am in such a rush. I mean, sometimes I'm literally waking up right before I start the show. So you're all thought on thou. You're like, and so I don't know, man. Maybe I could use Twitter as a live chat, but Twitter's really confusing for me.
Probably the easiest thing, and it's the way that most people probably watch the show, is on YouTube. Would you say, Joe, just type in comments on YouTube, and somebody will just have to keep an eye on them?
Yeah, yeah, that's just gonna have to be, because I am seeing what they're doing here on my phone. I get the little updates like that on my phone, the notifications. So as stuff is being typed in there, I'm getting the notifications, and that's about the best I could do as far as keeping an eye on it.
Yeah. Maybe Jay Vega can monitor the comments.
Yeah, Jay Vega, man. Yeah, if he could jump in there and take care of that for me, I'd really appreciate it. But I don't know.
I'd like to actually use a laptop to see how much extra stuff there is, because every time I get on here, I'm on my phone. So I know you have way more stuff going on with a laptop or a computer than being on a cell phone.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't even see all that.
Right. Yeah, because I am. Right now I have two. I have a 27-inch iMac, so I have a big enough screen where I have two complete windows open here, and so I've got one for the show, the live show that we're actually seeing right now, and then I've got a whole nother screen for window with different tabs, as you've probably seen as I show my screen, and I'll have YouTube open there sometimes, but it seems a little quicker for me if I just look at my phone, because my phone's just right here, and it pops the alerts up right there. So if someone's commenting, I'm getting the alerts. You know what I'm saying? So I just look at it as, well, that's kind of the live feed. There it is. Boop, boop, boop. We're done. You know what I'm saying?
So you
So
could have that, you could have YouTube open, and you could have the Google Plus side open on another screen somewhere,
yeah,
plus the show.
I do. I actually have. Let me see if I can just show. Okay, here's my entire screen. So this is my entire screen right now. So I've got the actual show tab right here, and then I've got the whole Google Plus, so I can see that. And then I'm kind of and this is actually the old format of Google Plus. This is the old format, which for me is easier to use. And then you can see I've got my other screen here with the actual show, and that's where we're seeing each other. And then on my phone, you saw I've showed you a couple times already. I've got the actual alerts. Cam Twist is something that I used to use back in the early days, and I'm starting to think maybe I'll do Cam Twist again, and that way I can have multiple cameras using, because I do have a few cameras, and so that way you can have a few different looks at what I'm doing here at the same time. I've got a little kind of entry-level mini Leo Laporte thing happening here. You know, if anybody's a fan of that. And that's kind of what I base things on is I've been a Leo Laporte fan for a long, long time. And for those of you that don't know, he's got a really big, what you would call live internet show happening, a live internet TV network now. He's really blown up. And so I've used a lot of his things that I've watched him grow over the years, and you know, maybe we'll be able to do that with this. Not on him single. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's part
If you
of.
had another camera that was looking at just the chat of the show, could you like mix that in with the chat screen, so it would be like live on the side of it? You could see the comments.
Yeah, that's something I can do. I might have to. The YouTube side has way more tools because it's way more manual, and it allows you to use external software, and then you combine that with being able to use a mixer and stuff like that. It would give me more. I just have to take the time to get to know some of this software, and then you know, actually buy some sort of external mixer and kind of bring all that in. I might have to make it, but it seems to me doing it that way would make it more, like I would have to use Skype more, and then bring people in more privately. And I don't know. I have to figure out a way where I don't have to do that. I can still bring in people that like to pop in randomly. You know what I'm saying?
For better or for worse.
Right, for better or for worse. Yeah, exactly. Really, exactly. For better or for worse, because that's the flavor. That's what everyone's used to. The randomness is what people are used to. And yeah, a lot of people did not realize about that show until you mentioned it this past Tuesday. A lot of people didn't realize that.
I'm obsessed with that show. To me, that show is as good as the best Warner Brothers cartoons or the best Three Stooges episodes. I watch it over and over.
Yeah, that would be. I need to go back and watch that one. I have not wanted to relive that yet. Actually,
it's been a year, Joe. It's been almost a year. It's safe for you. You can feel comfortable doing it now.
I could probably be all right going back and checking that out, huh? I'd be safe.
No, seriously, you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. That if you watch you on that show, that's the epitome of never let them see you sweat.
Yeah.
Because I know you were sweating inside.
Yeah, I can still
you
feel
were
it.
outside, but you were inside. I know you were.
Yeah, I can still feel it. That was some work. You know what I'm saying? That was where that was some work. And it's kind of ironic. We talked about it a few days ago, but it's ironic that Mark wasn't there for that show, and then here it is a year later. He's not here again. You know what I'm saying? And that was a year. You know, and it's kind of funny how Mark's not here again.
Right. And I know we talked about it the week after, or you guys did. I wasn't on with you then, and it came up at some point, and I still don't know if Mark ever actually watched it. He needs to. Now, Ruben commented on it. He finally got to see it, and for people who watch it now, it's absolutely hilarious. It's still hilarious to me, but I can say as one of the handful of people who had the pleasure to watch it live, it's nothing like watching it live, because watching a recording of it, you know what happened. You know what happened in advance.
Right.
When it was live, you had no clue what was potentially coming next.
Yeah, you just, and you were out. I remember being worried. I'm like, oh man, what is this guy gonna say? You knew it was I knew it was entertaining as it's happening in real time. I knew it was entertaining for people that are just watching. So it was this, what would you call it? Pull and push thing. You know what I'm saying? Trying to. I guess just like we were talking about with the BAC, it was a matter of, here's the line, Okay, now let's take it up, and it's going. Oh, bring it in. Yeah, it was.
You could tell he was lit when he got on the show.
Yeah. It was an instant thing. You were like immediately like, okay, is this guy crazy, or is he just So then
it was like fishing, like letting them go for a while, then reel them in a little.
Reel them in, yep. Yeah.
Slack, reel them in a little.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little bit of that. I can remember having other interesting characters on there, but it was definitely one of the tops. Yeah, it was
all-time classic.
Yeah, that.
I'll bet I've watched that entire hour. I'll bet I've watched it at least 24 times in the past year.
It was great that Dave was there. It really was. It was great that Dave was there.
Dave came to the rescue. There's one point I somewhere around here I jotted down the times of certain funny moments on there. Remember I gave you my swearing count? How many times the guy swore? And what he said? There's one point on there where he says something, and Dave had just taken a puff of his cigarette. Dave, he didn't do a spit take, but it was like a spit take. He just spit his smoke out because he busted out laughing. His smoke came spitting out of his mouth because of what this guy said.
Yeah, there's some good times for sure, man. Yeah, some good times for sure. Yeah, that's and the thing of it is it's memories like that I do not want to take away from. It's that randomness. We've got some we've got people that pop in and they can be a little annoying, but that's the randomness of the show. It's like that's the great part about it.
And in that case, they can be annoying, but they provide a lot of entertainment value.
It's entertainment. It's what it's all about. Yeah, people tune in for the entertainment factor, and it's. I get so many comments, even from people that may just watch once, and they're like, "Man, that is cool." You know what I'm saying? And they may not ever watch again, but I get that a lot, and I mean a lot. One of these days, I need to remember to talk more about the comments and email that I get, because I do get that a lot. Well, heck,
I'm curious about.
Go ahead.
Do you, like you and Mark specifically, do you guys ever go back and watch the show that just aired, or do you guys watch every show? It seems like Mark doesn't watch the show, but some people probably watch the show, and some people probably just don't watch the show or whatever.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to ask that too. I've been wanting to ask that a long time. If you guys ever go back and watch like immediately after it's over and watch a replay, because I do, or go back and watch something from 2 years ago. I'm glad you asked that, Earth. I've been wondering myself.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. It's a fair question. I think it's the same. I hear that same response from other people that make real shows on TV, and yeah, I don't watch. You know what I'm saying? The most I'll watch is when I go back and answer comments. So I go back, I'll answer comments that are on YouTube, and so the show replays. You know what I'm saying? Or my reviews are replays. So that's when I actually kind of sometimes will get stuck on a part, and I'll rewatch little bits maybe, but not much. You know what I'm saying? It's probably the same for Mark too, I would assume, because I know Mark's insanely busy, and I know I stay really busy. So a lot of times I'll catch little, 60-second little glimpses here and there as I'm answering comments, and it is kind of fun, especially on some of my reviews. Sometimes I get stuck watching my whole review, and that part is kind of fun. But the show, I have to admit, I don't watch them. I don't watch them. Yeah, that's a fair question. It's absolutely fair. Yeah, it's kind of like, but if just like Bum, because I live it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of.
Right.
Sometimes you can mention something, and then it takes me a little while to remember, and then I can remember it. I'm like, yeah, no, okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so.
Since I've only been doing this, with the camera on me for a few months, it's new to me. So I still go back and watch just so I can see and like critique myself. Oh my God, that was so stupid of me to have said that at that point. Or I told you, Joe, earlier, that first time I was on there, I was like, oh my God, I kept digging at my ear the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. So the novelty may wear off for me eventually, but for now, I go back and just to watch myself and get pissed at myself.
That is fair. If anything, I go back and YouTube will show you pictures, like thumbnails of the show. So I do like to see that, just to make sure. Okay, for one, is the quality about what what I'm saying? Is the quality improving? Is it going down? Technical things like that. You know what I'm saying? If I do hear something, I'm more listening to. Okay, how was the sound quality? How was what I'm saying?
Like last week at the very end where you were, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's something that, because sometimes maybe it's something on my end that I can actually fix, or if it's on Google's end, or if it's on the hotel internet's end, there's not much I can do about that, you know what I'm saying? But if it's something that's on my end, then yeah, maybe I could fix it,
That's funny you said that, Bum, because when you mentioned that last week, I was on my way to work when I watched the video, and I saw that, and it started doing that, and I thought my phone had seized up or something, so I had to reboot it, and I rebooted it, and I got back to that spot, and it did the same thing again. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? I just did a hard reboot and everything, and then I unplugged everything, and it still did it, and I noticed, okay, let me fast forward through it, and it was just part of the show at that point. So I'm like, okay, it wasn't my phone.
When it was happening live, I think I had just asked Joe a question, and he answered yeah, and then all I hear yeah, and I was thinking to myself, okay, Joe, you've made your point. And he kept going, yeah.
Yeah,
and it went on for the next 2 minutes, and I was like, I think we have technical problems there.
Yeah, and I actually
phone crashed, so I had to reboot it real quick, and that wasn't it.
That was one of those deals that was on my end. For sometimes this headset all of a sudden will, the ones and zeros get mixed up, and so I have to unplug it and plug it back in for it to. So the way that the ones and zeros were getting crossed in my computer, crossed with the internet, and it must have made that whole glitch happen. You know what I'm saying? Because the minute I plugged it back in, it worked again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And on my end, it just quit working. On my end, it quit working altogether.
Now that's something you should go back and watch the replay, Joe. I think it's like at about the 49-minute mark, just so you can get to hear what everybody else heard on there. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'll go back and check that one out. Because
I'll give you the exact minute mark that you can go to, so you don't have to like look for it.
yeah, that one would be kind of interesting. Oh, real quick here before we go, what did you think about that app where chemists created an app to tell if your beer is skunked?
I didn't read the article, but I'm all for that.
I mean, to create an app where your beer is skunked is amazing, I think.
How
Um,
does it work?
let me read a little bit on it because I kind of forgot. Uh,
I highly enjoyed the post you made about the ice with the surface area and the chilling and all that. I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The science behind chilling a beverage, is what they called it. Yeah, this one gets real technical. We have incorporated an aniline derivative into the sensor material, which reacts with the furfural and produces a pink. Oh, all these words, dude, I can't say that. You know?
The only word I've understood so far is pink.
Yeah, yeah. There's too many. There's too many words above 5 letters, bro. I
So
can't.
basically, you got to peel the wrapper off and put a pregnancy test in the bottle and see if it's a plus or a minus.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It just does some stuff. If I was even smart enough to know the words that are in the article, I'd probably be making more money than I am now. you know? Yeah, the guys that made the app are pretty darn smart. And it says at the end here, the process can be used to sense aging in honey and milk as well. Although I like to think all new technology should be used first and foremost as a way to tell if my case of Mickey's Big Mouth shouldn't have hung out with Will's in Will's van all summer. So uh, if uh, okay, like if you're using it to test Mickey's Big Mouth, the skunkiness, it's made skunky.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You shouldn't need it
Oh,
to tell you whether you should drink Mickey's Big Mouth or not.
it's in a green freaking bottle for a reason. It's gonna be
Oh,
oh, like come on.
it's like wondering. Let's see if our Heineken is fresh.
Who knows? I don't know. It's
That
skunky.
can't be skunked.
You know. Like yeah, you really needed an app to test that. Yeah. So,
Doesn't
but
that come out of the bright tank skunked already?
yeah. Oh, it's like pre-skunked before they even bottle it. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, they actually, yeah, because when they put it in brown bottles, they still make sure it has that skunky taste, don't they?
I'm pretty sure.
It's
Oh,
not conditioned. It's bottle skunked.
yeah, it's bottle
It's bottom
skunked,
skunked.
pre-skunked. Yeah, the skunkiness is actually part of some beers, and that's what they're known for, and that's what I
It's the
always
condition the bottle's trying to avoid.
they're the irony. It's so funny. It is. It's funny, and I'll get people that sometimes know me. In certain beer circles. They'll, when I'm out and about at different beer stores. Sometimes I'll run into someone that knows me, and they'll talk about different beers that they like or dislike, and they can tell the difference between. And they're like, I'm really more of a red stripe guy, but sometimes I'll have a Corona, and they're naming off all these light lagers that are just disgusting to me. And I'm saying, how do you know the difference between any of them? They just put a different label on them. I don't know. Like, like I don't get it. But hey, some people really do. You can definitely tell the difference between I guess maybe a Heineken and a Budweiser, but I'll give you that. You know,
Definitely.
I'll give you that. But to tell the difference between, I don't know, a Red Stripe and a Heineken, could you tell that difference?
Yeah, yeah. Heineken does have its own unique, nasty taste.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, Heineken. I guess I have to take Heineken out of there. And then some of the Japanese light lagers, for sure, you could tell those apart because they're pretty sweet. Um, yeah, I guess you could. You know what I'm saying? I need to be fair to all those people because there's a lot of them. I get that a lot, so it's I guess I got to be fair to all those people. It's just poor people. I mean, gotta feel sorry. You have to lean your head like that and go, oh, oh, oh. You're like, oh, you still drink that? Oh, no, that's not.
To feel sorry for them. They don't know any better.
Hey, sooner or later, hopefully they'll all come over to the other side and have real good, fine, premium adult beverages like Limeritas.
They ain't no Miller Lite either.
Yeah, they ain't no Miller Lite, man. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. I just got asked that. I was in the bar the other day, and they were like, "Man, why do you drink Miller Lite?" I'm like, "Cause when I come on Sundays, it's on sale." You know what I'm saying? And then the bartender actually told on me, and she's like, "But it's on sale every day." And I'm like, "Shut up!" Yeah, I'll be having Miller Lights here in another hour. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just my Sunday routine. I walk in, and they're, "Hey Joe," and they're putting my beer on the. You know what I'm saying? Like they already. So you know, I have Miller Lite. I'll be having Miller Lite and wings here in an hour. Like that's just what I do.
So if I was to ask you, other than the Miller Lite, what would be your go-to?
My go-to, and it's such a shame to me. I get a lot of people that still watch that review.
Or the
Was
kilt lifter?
my go-to right now is Kilt Lifter for sure here in Arizona. My go-to, I guess it would have to be, geez, several years ago now, huh? Sorry, Hot Chick. You know what I'm saying? You're like, woohoo! I could see the walkway from here, so it's Hot Chick. Um, was that definite Bud American Ale? I can't tell you how much I bought that. I cannot. That was I think it was one of the best beers that Bud made, and I don't. I think it was that beer that they made right before the acquisition, right before that merger. Um, and I think it was their maybe it was their last dish effort to make a true American beer, but I really liked it. I thought it was a solid beer. That was my go-to. Now that I'm in Arizona, it would have to be Kilt Lifter. Kilt Lifter, I do kind of have quite a bit because it's a big beer here in Arizona. Um, other than that, though,
So as a craft style, that's a Scotch ale, right? So
yeah, yeah,
it's not an IPA.
and it's part of the InBev family. So, like to me, that's kind of my getting back to that whole Bud naming itself America. I don't see the difference. Like to me, I don't see the difference in the thought of people not thinking Budweiser is an American company to the minute that one of your local breweries gets bought and part of that InBev family. Are they still a local beer? Are they still a California beer? Are they still an Arizona beer? Are they still a Colorado beer? How far do you want to go with that? Because I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like once they're bought, okay, does that change? Is that still a local beer? You know?
I understand what you're saying. I feel that way with Firestone and Lagunitas.
Yeah.
I don't, even though they got bought or whatever. It's still kind of, it's still craft side to me. It
Yeah.
was craft, so.
Mhm. Yeah, I just I don't like to bang on the big boys just too much because they're big. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not that that type of craft beer drinker. You know what I'm saying? I'll still have well, obviously the big boys. I'm not afraid to. And it's funny too because I don't really have too many Bud products other than the Limerita. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have too many Budweiser products anymore, yeah, other than some of the craft beers that they've bought recently. You know, um, I will occasionally have a Coors. I still like an original Coors, especially since they got those. The big boys I get more because of their damn marketing. It works on me. I'm that sucker. You know what I'm saying? So the Coors came out with those little original bottles, those little.
That's
Yep,
stubby.
the stuff. Yep. There's Bum. Yeah, I knew he was gonna. I knew that's what he was reaching for.
It's my Labatt's Porter from the '80s. The
Oh,
shorty.
okay. But that's the bottle, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How
And
could you not love that bottle?
yeah, it's just so cool. You know what I'm saying? It really is. And it's the nostalgia thing, and it's one of the reasons that I like that. Who was that company? I looked for them for a while, and then I kind of they left my thoughts, and so I quit looking for them. But they were called what was it? Ghost Key or Key something. And they had
Church Key?
Church Key. Did you ever have their beer?
No, I never saw it.
I never saw it. I never did see it, but I wanted to get a hold of that and do old school and be able to crack your beer open with the Church Key old school and have I just thought that was a real cool nostalgic thing, and I never did. I quit looking, I have to admit. So maybe I should go to a Total Wine and look around, or a Bevmo. And great beer stores, by the way. If you are anywhere in the West, well, you'd have to be pretty far west, huh? Because I think Arizona might be as far east as they go, as far as Bevmo. Uh, Total Wine's kind of everywhere, but I don't know how far Bevmo goes. But two great beer stores. Uh, they have beer tastings, wine tastings, of course, but a lot of beer events at those two stores. Heck, Total Wine's more of a warehouse.
None of that in Pennsylvania. We have our own unique set of rules, which are different than everybody else's.
Man, that sucks too, because
Yeah.
Total Wine especially is really cool. It's like a Costco for alcohol.
I don't think Total Wine goes too far. Can't imagine them going too far past, the Midwest somewhere if they even go that far.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I don't think they do.
But two great beer stores. If you well, I mean they sell everything, but I mean I like to call them beer stores. But two great beer stores to pretty much if they're in your area, it's a place where you can go, and if they don't have it, they don't sell it in your state. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just that type of place.
What's bigger for you, Bevmo or Total Wine? Because Total Wine takes the cake over here.
Yeah, no, Total Wine definitely. There's a Total Wine closer to me, so the Bevmos are kind of far, so I definitely go to Total Wine more. That's my go-to place because they're closer for one, and they are a little bit bigger selection than Bevmo.
Yeah.
But
yeah, our Total Wines are quite a bit bigger than Bevmo.
Yeah.
Quite a bit bigger.
Bevmo will have a nice little selection, though. They really will. And Bevmo has it to where you can order online and pick it up. So, but one of the people, if you have it in your area, and Phoenix is a huge market for this, but if you have it in your area, the people that are sneaking up on everybody is Amazon. Amazon is sneaking up on people, and there's an app as well. And what was it called? Let me look real quick. I'll find it. They're not quite set up in Phoenix yet, but they do say they're coming. Let me scan. I always see them in my Instagram. I'm looking through my Instagram real quick to see if I find their ad. I find them every time when I don't need them. Of course, now I need them and I'm not finding them. But they scan. You know how these apps are, man. You got to scan, 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 scan. Then they pop up. But I forget the name. Oh, wait. I think I have maybe. Oh, Minibar. It's called Minibar, and they deliver. If they're in your area, you can download the Minibar app. If they're in your area, they deliver alcohol to your door in 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I swear to God, yes.
Is it like
Yeah.
Domino's? If it doesn't arrive in 30 minutes, it's free?
I don't know. I don't know about
That
all
would be
that.
awesome.
But that would be awesome. Yes, it would. I'd have to agree with that. Yeah. But that would be awesome. But yeah, you can order on your
Tip the
phone.
driver, here you go.
You can order your phone and they will have it to you within, I would say within an hour or something like that. But that's their. I know they're in California, in the LA area, but
What's it called again? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Minibar. The app is called Minibar, and it's just too cool for school, right? Um,
Maybe someday soon we'll have drones delivering beer to our doorsteps.
now that's going to happen here in
I
Phoenix.
see that within the next couple months, actually.
Yeah, in Phoenix, it's going to happen. There's so many Amazon warehouses here that it's definitely coming. They keep telling us it's coming. So, yeah, it's going to happen here. We're supposed to see it pretty soon. This is an Amazon city for real. Like if you love Amazon, man, it's pretty good here. So, but they're the ones sneaking up on people. You can already get groceries here. Um, you can do a lot. Amazon does a lot, and they're real sneaky about it because they're real quiet about it. If they're doing something in your area, they let your area know, and
They're trying to capture that market before anybody gets a hold of it.
yeah. So it's another, and they're picking up in different areas. So it's another way, another avenue that we don't think about that much. But man, I mean, how cool is it to get, uh, some beer to your door? And if there's that app Mini Bar, they do it. So if they're in your area, that Mini Bar, if they deliver in your area, then that's pretty sweet. But what's kind of cool is if you already have some liquor in your house, apartment, or wherever you're at, what's the Amazon app called? You even have to have a special app for that. I think it's a half hour or 1 hour service that they offer. What's it called here? Yeah, it's called Prime Now. So if you have Prime Now, you can deliver some soda. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, oh, I'll order a couple 6-packs, a couple 12-packs of this or that to go up my crown, and you're good to go, man. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I got whiskey, but I ain't got no Coke. So here comes Coca-Cola.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Or there's definitely different. Yeah, you see here, you can see I'm in the Prime Now app, and they have different offerings here. So you can see all the different offerings they have. So if Amazon offers this in your area, then you have to keep an eye on it, and they keep offering different stuff. So you can see how it just keeps going. All those are different things, So you've got, everything from books to video games to, you name it, beverages.
They've sure come a long way from just books, haven't they?
Yeah, and now they're actually starting to offer their own privately labeled stuff. So Amazon's got their own private label now, and they're going to start offering a lot of stuff like that. So to me it's an attack on Costco, because Costco's known for that Kirkland brand. It's quality stuff, actually. Costco's got the one brand, the one private brand that is not a cheap brand. It's known as a less expensive quality brand. And to me, it's a direct attack on that. because they can deliver it to your door. So what the hell would you even need a warehouse for? You know what I'm saying? You're like, I can get it and it's delivered to me. So, you know, makes it kind of nice. But yeah, those are different things, different ways you can use to get your beer to you. Plus, there's pizza places that'll deliver beer to you, so that makes it convenient. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get pizza and a 6-pack, and you know we're all good. You know, so
Amazon's good. I use Amazon for a few things. I
yeah.
like Amazon.
Hmm. But in any case, we'll close this out, guys. Everyone get to their game and enjoy your hockey, enjoy your basketball, whatever you're gonna do. I'm gonna go Penguins. Yeah, the Kings are out, so you know. Yeah, and of course the Lakers aren't in it, but yeah, I'll enjoy watching Golden State catching up. Right, I think that game already started, didn't it? So we'll let everyone get to their ball game. I'm gonna get cleaned up and go over there to my local bar and enjoy some stuff. If you happen to be in the Phoenix area and you want to check it out, I'll be in the native.
Drop on your alcohol wristband, Joe.
Yes, I'll put on the wristband, see if there's an app, and we will monitor. You know, that'd be kind of interesting. I need to see if there's some sort of, that would be interesting. I'll look into that too. But hey, we'll see you guys, man. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for everybody that watched. We had a steady stream of people watching this whole thing. That's pretty cool.
Good show, guys.
So I appreciate all the support. Thank you. I can't stress that enough. I really thank everybody for their support. I really do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we'll see you guys, man. Peace out.
Okay, guys. See ya.
Sure.
All right.